if you can really take the map and drive the instructor inside the classroom and link it to the M step, then everything will move. You see it?
Ladies, third grade teachers, could you tell me, how do you think this professional development was for you today?
Easy. It was productive. It was exciting. We will never leave Mr. Hurt's advising.
Because the schools that I've worked with, the teachers I've worked with, their scores just go through the roof, because what I do is I talk about practical stuff that's practical. Because I'm a former teacher and also I'm a principal, so I'm gonna be telling you guys things that I know will work in your classroom.
For booking, please visit S.
So I believe that, if everybody say it can't get done, I'm like, yes it can, why not? I said, if these kids can't read, then I'm not gonna propose them. All this, mom, dad, I'm gonna look you in your face and say this kid can't read. We let them down. School, parents, we let them down, but I'm not gonna take them to the next grade knowing that they're not at grade level. It's funny because I'm always like, okay, how are schools successful? Well, schools are successful when they demand greatness. Greatness just doesn't come. We're about to make history. We're about to learn. We're about to grow. We're about to make history. And then, mark my words, it's going to be other school districts, other places around it that's going to be doing this thing. We're going to be the first model. And I'm speaking that into existence, okay?
For booking, please visit shurtschoolturnaroundspecialist.com.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Sean Hurt with another powerful Saturday podcast. Come on in, hit that share button. We have another good one on today. I know you're saying Hurt is spring break. That's fine. You can still enjoy your spring break, still enjoy the good weather, still do what you got to do. But come on in and support the Fantastic Four Super Saturday. Yes, myself at 10. We got Create and Educate at 10:30. Then we got Principal Kafele at 11. Then on Sunday we got Josh Tarver at 7 o'clock. So give me about 2 minutes. I need 2 minutes so I get all of my friends in, Facebook people in. And as you're getting situated, you told me last week that you're going to go ahead and bring a friend. So that friend you say is going to bring in, make sure you share this link, share it so they could join in. And then also you need to get your pencil and paper, because you know how I do. I like to give out information. So give me a few more seconds. I get all my Facebook folks and LinkedIn. I got LinkedIn folks. They say, Hurt, what about us on LinkedIn? You always miss me. I'm about to get you into. So stay with me. And then, just share with me who you are, where you're coming from, all of that other good stuff. Who you are, where you're coming from. Who are you? Where you're coming from. And today's topic is a good topic, is for leadership teams. I'm going to talk about, what makes a good leadership team at the school and district level. The reason why I'm talking about that is because it is so important to understand how your leadership team will help to support what you're doing. It's going to help to support, your goals as a district, as a school. And the one thing that we're lacking, and I know for a fact, is that we're not using our leadership teams to its fullest. So I'm gonna talk about that. How does that look? So all right, let me see who's with me on this morning. You still got time to come in. Let me see who's with me on this morning. All right. So I have Dr. Jeter. Good morning to you. Good morning. Thank you once again for sharing it. Thank you. I appreciate that. From Illinois, she's a big supporter of the work I'm doing. Thank you so much, Dr. Jeter. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. We have September Vance Daniels from New Jersey, Orange, New Jersey in the house. Good morning to you, another big supporter of me. Good morning to you. I got Brother David Bell. Good morning to you from Benton Harbor. That's down the street. You probably get the same weather we get. It's a little rainy outside, but I take that other than the snow. So good morning to you. Let's see who else we got. We got Melissa Jones Chuno. Good morning to you. Good morning. Where you from? I always forget. Where are you from, Dr. Chuno? Where are you from? word. Tell me where you're from. Yolanda Nesbitt, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I got Stacy Joy. No, I saw your post, Stacy Joy. You said, what, 49 more days or something like that? Had me laughing. Good morning to you, Stacy Joy. I was reading our post. I said, you're on one. I got my good friend Ross Gaskins. Good morning to you. Good morning to you from Maryland. Give much love to your family. Good morning to you, Ms. Gaskins. I know you're doing well. Good morning to you. I got Miss Cardi from Houston, Texas. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I got Principal Kafele, my mentor, my good friend. Good morning to you. Oh, I got Mrs. Flowers on here. Principal Flowers, you know I'm going to brag about you, so I'm glad that you're here. So I say good morning to you. I got so much I'm going to talk about you. Make sure you share it, Principal Flowers. I need you to share this podcast because I'm about to talk about the work you're doing. Good morning to you. And I got Mrs. Connie West. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And I have Miss Nicole, Principal Seasons from New Jersey. Good morning to you. And Miss Chuno, you from Oklahoma. I always forget that. Good morning to you. And I got Miss Hicks, Augusta, Georgia. And I got Miss Anita McMahon. I'm sorry, I messed up the last name. Good morning to you from Illinois. So let's go and get started. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the thread. So once again, good morning to everybody. Sean Hurt, School Turnaround Specialist with my Saturday morning podcast. And we're going to have a good one on today. Hold on for 1 second. I want to make sure I got everything situated. Volume good. All right. So we're going to talk about leadership teams and what makes a good leadership team at the school and district level. But before we get started with that, I always ask the question as an educator, what is keeping you up at night as an educator? What is the 1 or 2 things that's keeping you up at night as an educator? When you wake up, you think about this all of the time. For me, and I'll always be honest with you, we have 2 weeks before testing season. 2 weeks before testing season. The question I want to ask, are you ready? We got 2 weeks before testing season. Are you ready? So that's what's keeping me up at night. I want everybody, all my schools, to get ready to have their stuff in place, but it's 2 more weeks. So what is the one thing that's keeping you up at night? You might say, Hurt, is what's taking place at the national level with the administration and them trying to them passing these laws that doesn't make sense. It could be, Mr. Hurt, I'm trying to just get through the last 2 months of school, whatever that is. But what is the one thing when you put your head in the pillow at night and you're just, before you go to sleep, that you're thinking about that's keeping you up at night? And mine is 2 weeks before state testing season. I know that all of the schools will be held accountable for their state scores and district scores. So I just want them to just do the best job that they can. Okay. So let me know what's keeping you up at night. I have one, Mrs. Anita, a delay in testing results. We have completed our testing as of yesterday. Oh, you guys already completed. I hear that because when you take those tests, you want to get those results ASAP. So I get that. I do understand that. Budget cuts, Miss Rilla Hicks said budget cuts. Yes, we got to. Hey, I was talking to a group of educators last week. We have to look at this budget in a different way because now the federal funds will be getting cut. So how do we still educate our kids, do what we have to do, and maybe some of our title funds are getting cut? Title I, Title II, 31A, so forth and so on. These funds are getting cut. So we got to be very strategic and say, okay, what do we do differently with our funds getting cut? We cannot do what we've been doing the last 10 years, 15 years. What are we doing differently to make sure things are taking place? Good. Yep. So I appreciate that. So what's happening in education in my world? What's happening in education? Well, you know what? I just got back from Brunswick, Georgia, 2 days ago, and I spent the day at Goodyear Elementary School under the leadership of Principal Flowers. She's on here now, and I spent the day with her, and man, we had a good time. I was able to work with the leadership team, went into a couple of classrooms, and we put a really nice plan in place because she has about 4 more weeks before her state testing down in Georgia to really support the kids. With the standards that we got to look at, We looked at kids that we're going to focus on. She had her admin team in there and really came up with a nice plan to be able to maximize these last 4 weeks so her kids can score high. Now, the other thing that I didn't know until I came down there is that she told me and she sent me her school this year, from the fall to the spring, her school had the highest, not the second, not the third, but the highest math growth in her district for all the elementary schools. So you got 9 elementary schools. Her school had the highest math growth on NWA MAP, the test that you guys use for the whole district. So I want to give a big shout out. And her reading was not too far behind. She was like in 3rd place. So overall, her growth combining math and reading, she's on here now. She had the highest growth among all the elementary schools from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So big shout out to Principal Flowers and her team. I told you I was going to get on my podcast and talk about you guys. And not only that, now I'm bragging about it because a lot of times we talk about schools and what they're doing, but there's no data. There's nothing to prove that what they're doing is working. Well, Principal Flowers, she has the data to prove what she's doing is working. And the other thing that I will highlight regarding her school is that when I went into the school and I'm walking in the halls, because, I do this work for a living, I look at schools, I couldn't take my eyes off her walls. Her walls in the school was talking to me. Well, what do you mean by that? Talk to me about what you mean by that. Every hallway, every area of the school had data, had goals, had what they were going to be achieving, and things of that nature. So the first 15 minutes walking into her school, I knew what her school was about. Her school was about academic achievement because it was everywhere in the school. As soon as you come into the school, in the hallways, just everywhere. I couldn't, vocabulary words in the hallway. Things that when you walk in schools, what you want to see. So I want to give a big shout out to Principal Flowers and her team. I know that you're going to go ahead and take the Georgia milestone and kill it because you are working hard. Your team is working hard, and hats off to your team. So I just want to give a big shout out to Principal Flowers and her team. Job well done. Job well done. All right. I told I'm sorry about that. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right. I had a refresh. I'm sorry. So if something went bad, I had a refresher. So I think yep. So we're good. We're good. All right. So you say Hurt. What makes a good team at the school and district level? What are the things that you see working with schools that's making a good team at the district and state, at the district and school level? So I'm gonna name 5 things, but one thing I will say is that this year, a lot of these 5 things that I've witnessed it among the schools that I'm currently working with. So I want to give a big shout out to Principal Flowers, once again out of Georgia, Principal Kennedy out of Alabama, Principal Williams out of Oklahoma City, and Principal Strong out of Idaho. These 4 principals I'm working with this year, been working with them on a consistent basis. And one thing that I've noticed, and I want you to understand this, is that they have a good school team. These are all building principals, and they have a good team, and they have these 5 things in common, in addition to me being a principal, me doing the work, me working with other schools. All right, so go ahead and hit that share button, and let's go and get started. The first thing is this. Write it down. What makes a good team? A good team knows why they exist. A good team knows why they exist. A bad team, they just exist to exist, but a good team that you're the principal and you want to develop a good team, you're the superintendent, you first must know why you exist. What is the purpose of having your team? What is the purpose of your assistant principals
your instructional teachers or your coaches and things of that nature, your assistant superintendents. What is the purpose? Why do you exist? The reason why you exist should be that because you want to have the highest achieving school in your district, in your state, bar none. You can give me all the other stuff, but the reason why you exist is because of that. If you have the highest student achievement in your district and in the state, consequently, it will drill down to the kids learning. It will drill down to your coaches, your APs being focused on the right thing and not the wrong thing. I'm going to say this again because you got to hear this. They're focused. They're focused on the right thing and not the wrong thing. You can have a focus, but it could be focused on the wrong thing and you will not get the results. The first thing what makes a good team, school level and district level. Why do you exist? Why do you exist? As the principal of the building, I named 4 other principals. The reason why Principal Flowers told me, she was like, she told me what she want her proficiency to be at the end of the year for the Georgia milestone. She didn't tell me she has it up on poster boards all through the school. She articulated it to her leadership team. When I was a principal, I articulated to my leadership team. The reason why we're here is because I want to have the best school in Michigan. I want to have the highest academic achievement based on our state scores and our district scores in the state of Michigan. That's why we exist. Yes, I know we get paid every two weeks. I know all those things. I get it. I understand it. But the reason why we're here is because of this right here. A lot of times our focus is on the wrong thing. Why do you exist? Real simple, real plain, to the point. Does that make sense? Is that making sense to everybody? That's the first thing. Why do you exist? And I'm reading comments. Oh, they coming in. I got Carolyn Blanchard. The leadership wheels revolves. I got Dr. Jeter. I truly believe the final results should be given out before October. Yep. So the skills and talents of the team members are celebrated. I'm gonna talk about that, Ms. Blanchard. You must have been reading my notes, but why do you exist? Number 2, a good team, write it down, creates a space for learning. A good team creates. It's not there. You have to create it. You have to build it. You have to develop a space for learning. Talk a little bit more about that because I want to know what you mean by that. Are all of the voices on the team heard? And is there and are we using their expertise in the right area? Are all of the voices heard? I got 4 or 5 people on my leadership team. Is everybody's voice heard first? Let's hear everybody's voice. And is their expertise that they're bringing to the table being utilized? I remember one time when I was a principal, I had a conversation with my team. It was about 5 of us. I told them, I said, between the 5 of us, between us 5, there's 5 people, we have over 18 degrees between us 5. I think it was like 22 degrees. We had bachelor's, master's, some PhDs, some ed specialists. I said, between us 5, we have over 22 degrees. There is no way that we should not be able to leave out this room, me listening to your expertise in math, reading, social studies, science, climate and culture, whatever that is, and be able to put a plan in place. So I'm going to listen to what you guys bring to the table. If math is not your focus, let the math people talk to me. If ELA is your focus, I need the ELA people to bring what they're going to bring. If writing is your focus, I need that. If PBIS, climate, culture, whatever your expertise is, let's bring it to the table. But all voices will be heard. It's not a 1-man or 2-man band. Everybody's going to be heard in order to go back to number 1, knowing the purpose of your team. Once we know the purpose, then I can hear all voices, and I could bring their expertise to the table. Oh man, yes. How does that? How does that sound? I could bring it. A good team creates a space for learning. Yes. Yes, Carol Blanchard, 18 degrees among group members is great. Yes. So next time you have a meeting, you bring in your team, you bring in your 2 APs and your coaches and stuff like that. Just stop and say, right now, how many degrees you have? One person might got 2, another person might got 3, 4, whatever that is, and add them up. You have some experts in that room, but a lot of times is that we don't let their expertise come out because we minimize who they are. We don't listen to their ideas, and then consequently, they're not going to say anything. But a good teammate will say, all right, let me hear what you got to say. I know that you're good in math. Tell me. Oh, well, Mr. Hurt, I feel that the math curriculum should look like this. We got 90 minutes. We should put this in place. These are the this is the blueprint for math. Let's add this. And here goes some manipulatives. I know that they all, you understand what I'm saying? Now they feel valued as a team member. Now they're going to go out there and go above and beyond because that's their expertise. That's what they like. That's what they feel like. And they feel that their voice is being heard when you're having the meetings. And not only is the voice being heard, but you're actively using their expertise to have it done inside of the school, to implement what they're saying inside of the school, so they can look back and say, man, I created that, or I was able to add to that math, or I was able to add to that ELA, or whatever it may be. How many of us are doing it? Remember, the title of my lesson, what makes a good team at the school and district level? That's the second one. Hit that share button. Hit that share button. Let me know if I'm sounding good. I got about 9 more minutes. So I'm gonna go slow on this because I got team members on here. I got people that say I got my team on here. I see Mrs. Scott says amen. Amen means that she is in agreement. And I got Miss Shiraz say talk about it. That means I'm talking good. All right. Number 3. In a good team, there's healthy conflict. In a good team, there's healthy conflict. Team members, we have to deal with the elephant in the room. That is a must. You cannot not deal with the elephant in the room. You have to talk about the elephant in the room in order to move forward. So if I'm talking about the elephant in the room, student behavior, academic achievement, teachers not doing what they're supposed to be doing, maybe you got some things happening with parents or whatever it may be. Whatever that's stopping you from achieving your goal, you must talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of times what takes place is that we know that things are taking place, but we ignore it. We don't deal with the elephant in the room, and then consequently, nothing ever gets done because we're talking about this over here, but this right here is really stopping us from getting the results that we're trying to get. So consequently, we don't talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room could be Principal Hurt. You show favoritisms to certain people, and consequently, we know that such and such can get away with murder, or these 2 teachers or this grade level get away with murder, and the other people don't. So consequently, we can't move as a school because there's favoritisms by you, the leader. We don't have those type of in-depth conversations. Well, I know we got to be comfortable, but you must talk about the elephant in the room. Now, we can love each other. We can do whatever. It can be kumbaya, but at the end of the day, we have to hold everybody accountable for what we're doing. A good team holds everybody accountable for what they're responsible for. A bad team holds nobody accountable, and we push the blame. A good team holds the teammates accountable. If you are over the math department and the math scores are in the toilet, I got to have a conversation with you. Not saying you're not working hard, not saying anything like that, but the results that we're getting is not leading to what's taking place. If you're over the ELA department, if you're the AP, whatever it may be, I got to have a conversation. The conversation has to be had. We have to hold people accountable. And then I think what's taking place is that we come in with our favorites and we don't want to hold people accountable, and we see it and consequently, we can't reach our goal. What makes a good team at the school and district level? We have to hold people accountable, and it goes back to my first statement. Why do we exist? Connie West says accountability. So let's kind of reflect. I got about everybody stay with me. Please stay with me. Let's reflect. Does your district or your school really hold people accountable? I mean, like, hold up, man. I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about really accountable for what they're supposed to be held accountable about. If academic achievement has been low for the last 12 years, 8 years, 5 years at your school, and everybody is kumbaya, happy, or whatever, well, nobody's being held accountable. And that is bad, because who ends up being hurt? The students. So that kid been in your school for 5 years, and they've never grew on their scores. They're below reading. They can't read. They got problems. All these. Come on now. We gotta hold our team accountable for academic achievement. Put it down. Accountability has to be held across the board. You hold everybody accountable. Can no one say you're unfair? You treat other people better than me. I don't know what's going on. That's not right. All the other stuff. No, we're holding everybody accountable to the same thing. Let's get it done. And then consequently, your team understands why they exist. Next one. Number 4. Members of a good team trust each other. Members of a good team trust each other. A lot of times you can be in a room and I'm looking at my left and looking at my right. I don't trust you because I know what I'm about to say. You're about to go ahead and say something or report it or whatever it may be. Or the other one is that every time I look around, you stabbing me in my back and you're on my team. A good team trusts one another. And trust comes with accountability. If you hold everybody accountable, can no one say, hey, I don't trust you, I don't, whatever it may be. We're held accountable to the same thing. Accountability. So consequently, when you hold people accountable, I need trust. I trust that you're going to do right. I trust that whatever it is, I will be held accountable, just like Sean Hurt, just like Peggy Clark, just like anybody else. Members of a good team trust one another. Yep. Josh Tarver says, when the main chair doesn't lead and face challenges with people, the climate is destroyed. Yes. If you're the main person, you are the one that can control the climate of the school. That's why I talked about it. You got to be able to lead people, hold them accountable, but be consistent on what you're doing. That's what makes a good team. You cannot do this by yourself. So consequently, trust comes into play, because if I know that you're going to be consistent with your word, I trust you. Good point. Loss of trust is hard to come back from. Yes. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Loss of trust is hard to come back from. Now, you ask the question, well, if I lost my trust with my team, how do I regain it? How do I regain the trust? This is what you have to do. First, you got to swallow your pride, principal and superintendent, and tell the people, listen, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I am sorry. You got to let them know. Apologize to you. Got to apologize. If you got to just put it out there. And then from there, people will say, oh, wow, he's acknowledged what he's done, because you're the leader. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of backbone to say that. And then from there, be consistent in what you're doing. We're not perfect. You're not God, so you're going to make mistakes. Acknowledge the mistakes that you made. You still won't get the trust, but as you start to do what's right, then now, day after day, week after week, month after month, now you can build the trust back. If you're saying, okay, I'm going to make sure everybody comes to work at 8 o'clock, that's trust. So now you're holding everybody accountable, because in the past, you allow certain people to come in at 8:10, 8:15, 8:30. You understand what I'm saying? So you're building that trust. You're building that trust. And the last thing, because I got one more minute, the last thing, a good team has a facilitator, leader, and shared leaders. I know that you are the leader, but you must have someone that's going to help facilitate, and you must share the leadership team, must share the responsibility among your leadership team. So I'm gonna stop right there. It is 10:30. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you go support my good friends Create and Educate at 10:30. If you need me to come in and help support your school, inbox me, please. You know, we can talk about it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm trying to get my subscriptions up. Hit the likes, hit the shares. Let's get the algorithm going in the right direction. And last thing is that if anybody have not told you this, listen to what I'm about to say. If anybody and I have told you this, I love you. I want the best from you. I want you to have a successful school year. It is not too late. And make sure you knock out that state assessment. Just knock it out. And thank you very much. And once again, big ups to Principal Flowers and her team at Goodyear Elementary. You guys are doing some tremendous work. I told you I was going to brag about you today. Thank you. May God bless you.